like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to story number 2, which is Erika Jayne losing it all. So Erika Jayne loses court battle and faces trial after judge denies motion to dismiss $18 million lawsuit from costume designer. Details are revealed. So, I don't like to revel in the demise of anyone because I don't want that karma coming back at me. I firmly believe in this world, what you put out, you get back. So, I'm not reveling in this, but I am going to report on it because I do think karma's real. So, like I said, I think that this is the beginning of Erika's problems, not the end. We saw this season, it was her like redemption arc, which I was just kind of gagging over, like, ugh, stop it. It was nothing but one big advertisement for her Vegas residency and her Bet on Blonde spinoff for Bravo and NBC. So basically, her entire storyline was one big commercial advertising for those shows, which I'm pretty sure both Bravo and NBC have a stake in. So that to me was kind of disgusting. Her whole position on, I want the ladies to apologize to me because I won my appeal. And it's like, again, people with money and fame and privilege using the legal system to get over on victims, on people who have less money and less access and less resources. She appealed on just to make a point. She knew she was never going to get the money back, and she knew she was never going to get the earrings back. She only appealed to stick it to the victims. Like, that is disgusting. But like I always said, and I'm going to get to the details of this lawsuit, but like I always said, I think the feds are building a much deeper, bigger, rock solid case against Erika, and I do think that it's only a matter of time before they get her. But let's see what happened with this. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Erika Jayne has just suffered what is being described as one of her worst court losses. On Tuesday, a judge denied the 52-year-old Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member's request to have a lawsuit filed against her by fashion designer Christopher Sala dismissed, which could ultimately send her to trial. Christopher was arrested and indicted on charges of fraud after being accused of charging $787,000 to Erika's American Express card. Devastating day for Erika Gerardi. To our surprise, the federal court, in a short opinion, denied her slap motion to dismiss Christopher Sala's case, attorney Ronald Richards revealed on Twitter on February 27th. Erika will now face a trial on allegations she falsely got her costume designer charged. Nothing is ever a lock in court. Congrats to Marco. This is one of her worst losses as she won't be able to delay this trial, and the facts are bad for her. In February of 2023, it was reported that Thomas Gerardi, who may have used his connection to Lorenzo Robert Savage III, head of the Los Angeles office of the U.S. Secret Service, to bring charges against Christopher in regard to supposedly unauthorized charges he made to Erika's credit card in exchange for Thomas representing Lorenzo in a separate case. Oof, again, this is why I always said that these fraud people like Thomas Gerardi, these quote white collar criminals, but they're just a bunch of thugs running Ponzi schemes and defrauding people. They never work in a vacuum. That's how they are able to do it for so long and at the level that they do it. They have people in their pockets, they're in people's pockets, from, Secret Service to judges to executives to police people to was it the FBI, his son, or something like that. It's just crazy. And that's how they're able to get away with it. If one person is corrupt, they can't do their corruption. People have to be implicit and even complicit to the corruption at this scale. So he got the head of the Los Angeles office of the U.S. Secret Service to do his dirty work, according to this. Christopher denied the charges against him, and ultimately, after plenty of heartache that followed Erika being refunded the money, which was payment for costumes Christopher's company, Marco Marco, made for the Real Housewives cast member, the charges were dismissed. So basically, what they did was they got Marco, Christopher, to create all of these costumes and, jewelry and gowns and all of this stuff for her. And then they were like, "Oh, no, 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 no. He committed fraud. He didn't have the authority to make all of these charges on here. So we need to get that refunded." And then once they got the refund, they got their money back, then all of a sudden the charges against him were dismissed. You see? So, in a statement at the time, the spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in LA reacted to a potential mishandling of the situation by the Secret Service, who allegedly investigated the charges without hearing Christopher's side of the story. This is where the corruption comes in. So, you are the Secret Service, and you don't talk to the person who is being accused of the fraud and the crime? Come on now. Come on now. You got, like, come on. That's beyond an oversight. That's a choice. We ultimately determined that law enforcement evidence preservation issues undermined our ability to prosecute the case, and the interest of justice supported dismissal, the statement said. Months later, Christopher sued Erika for over $18 million, alleging she and Thomas participated in an extortion scheme against him and his business and ruined his career. After the filing of Christopher's case, Erika's attorney, Evan Borges, responded to his statement. Plaintiffs' claims against Erika are entirely without merit. They always say that. Oh, it's frivolous, it's meritless. Boy, bye. Independent federal prosecutors at the U.S. Attorney's Office made the decision to charge plaintiff with crimes, no one else. The notion that Erika controlled the U.S. government, or for that matter, a Fortune 100 company such as American Express, is fantasy, he stated. It's not fantasy because it's, hello, like the Secret Service said it. Like, it's not a fantasy. It's what happened. It's what happened. But this is a big blow to Erika. And this is the thing. I think Christopher was smart to go against her and not the US government. Maybe throw in American Express, because the problem is, and I'm a patriot, I love my country, but no system, no institution is perfect. And so I think that it's very scary to sue the US government, even if one of their players, the Secret Service guy, was corrupt. Because they're not going to take that L. So the smartest thing to do is to sue Erika. And at the end of the day, Erika is the one who started the fraud. She's the crux of it. Now, do I think it was her idea? No, I think it was probably Tom Girardi's idea. I think he was like, I'm not paying back the $800,000. That's almost close to $1 million. I'm not paying all of this for your frocks and your gowns and your designers. I know someone at the Secret Service who can make this go away. Now, poor Christopher, now he's out of all of that money because, he's making these charges. He's probably buying, materials and this and that to make all of these gowns and everything. So he's out of all of that money. He's probably had to hire lawyers, not to mention emotional and mental distress. If anybody has gone through anything legal when they are good people, it's very stressful. It's anxiety ridden. It's depression. It's a lot to be a part of any legal battle when you are innocent or the victim and you're fighting for something against someone so big. And then it's reputation. It's not like now people understand what happened, but then who are they going to believe? Thomas Girardi and Erika? Or are they going to believe a designer who's like, no, wait a minute, like, you're screwing me over? So that's reputation. That's a lot. So cheers to Christopher. Shout out to Marco, his brand. I hope they win. If everything turns out to be true, the allegations, I hope he wins. Do I think he's going to get the $18 million? I hope, because I bet you Erika has it somewhere. I don't believe, and I've never believed for 1 second that Erika is poor or destitute or starting over in her $1 million mansion with her Range Rovers and her Birkin bags. I don't never believe that for 1 second. I think that there are, and then again, this is just my opinion. I think that there are a lot of offshore Swiss bank accounts, even onshore accounts, looking at you, Wells Fargo, that have millions and millions of dollars. Maybe the money has been converted into art. Maybe some of it's been converted into crypto. Maybe some of it's been converted into stocks or shares. But I think the bulk of the money hasn't just disappeared. I think that they have either washed it, laundered it, converted it, hidden it, but I think it's there. And I think Erika knows how to access it. She's just riding it out until she thinks she's been, quote, vindicated enough. And until she thinks that it's further in the past before she really starts dipping into all of it. Because I think the $500,000 Wells Fargo account in Florida that she got, I think that's a drop in the ice bucket of what's really out there. I really do. But I think she's not tapping into the bulk of that money until she thinks the coast is clear. So they need to hire Sutton's financial forensics people that Sutton did for her divorce to find that money. That's what I say. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think the designer has a good case? From everything I've seen, this is fraud. And I do feel really bad for him. And it sucks. It sucks. I've been a victim of fraud in my life. And it's very gut-wrenching and scary and all of that stuff. So my heart goes out to the victims, to all the victims. I hope they get swift vengeance and justice. So that's what I think. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. So put it down below and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to our next story, which is all about